Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. I started the broadcast earlier, but it wasn't working properly, so I ended that video and started it over. And thank goodness on this time I have my options. I don't know what's going on with Facebook recently, but sometimes when I start my lives, I don't have the option to turn my camera around. So let's take a quick look at the garden while we wait for a couple of people to join us. The fall flowers are doing quite well. The summer ones have passed their prime. I will be, doing some reorganizing of my garden area. But again, the star of the garden is always this tomato plant. I love vine ripened tomatoes. And here it is, October. What's the day? The 19th, 18th, the 19th. And the tomatoes are still doing well. So throughout the course of the day, I move this plant various times, because if those tomatoes start to turn slightly red at all, then they will finish ripening in the house. But as you can see, the cooler temperatures are starting to have an effect on it. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen with it. And I don't know if you can see, but there is a teeny tiny little tomato back there. Good morning, James. But so the tomato plant is doing well, and I'm just trying to let those get a little bit more turn red just a little bit, so that I can bring them indoors and they will finish ripening. But today I wanted to talk to you about your perspective. And do you have a perspective of gratitude or bitterness? So your perspective is everything. Earlier this week, I did post on social media. One of them was detailing my surgery history. Another one was detailing my educational history. And then I did one just on being grateful and having gratitude. So that those posts, good morning, Deb, those posts caused me to have conversations with some friends of mine about your perspective. Your perspective of everything. If you get up on Monday morning and say today is going to be a great day, or if you get up and say today is horrible and life sucks, you are absolutely right. The words out of your mouth have a tremendous amount of power to them, and they have an energy with you. Your perspective will follow you, and it carries you. What you say matters. It has an effect. It can either lift you to a place where you live in eternal gratitude, or it can bury you. You can be filled with joy and happiness and peace every day, or you can become filled with bitterness. Good morning, Kimberly. We had such a great time at the Osher Awards. I know you guys are still traveling and conducting the show. So, please be safe and have a great time. But this magazine is just so wonderful. And because of that, I've gotten to be featured on the Duke Health website and numerous other things. So again, I really appreciate the nomination and the winning of the awards for Volunteer of the Year and Health and Wellness. Good morning, Crystal. So many of you know I had my knees replaced in 2015 because of damaged cartilage, bone spurs, wear and tear over time had completely destroyed my knees, and I needed my knees replaced. Some of us need a jaw replacement. Over time, our jaw has gotten damaged by the wear and tear of life. Good morning, Tara. Death, divorce, disease, poverty, they all damage our joy, and we need a jaw replacement. Joy is innately a part of us. We were created to live with it. When our joy gets damaged, we can't live in the fullness that God created us to live in. The hurt, the pain, sadness, betrayal, and abuses of the past cause ongoing pain, sorrow, and grief. Carrying that kind of emotional weight around causes bitterness to attach itself to us at the root. Joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit, but if bitterness is attached to you at the root, you can't produce good fruit. Good fruit. Bitterness and joy are on two different ends of a spectrum. They are at the opposite ends of each other. You can't live in joy if you're bitter. There's just no way around it. You cannot harbor bitterness in your heart and still expect or receive joy in life. They cannot reside in the same space. Just like love and hate, you can't carry love and hate in your heart. They just don't go together. So Psalms 51:10 tells us, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. We often think of sins in terms of the actions or our behaviors. We don't think of our thoughts and sins of hatred, anger, and bitterness that we carry in our hearts towards other people. To get a joy replacement, good morning, Derek, we have got to get rid of the root of the problem. We've got to deal with the issues of the heart. Dealing with issues of the heart might include, might require that you forgive those that have left you, abused you, mistreated you, and sometimes even violated you. Say, for instance, if a crime was committed against you or something of that nature. To get a joy replacement, let's start dealing with the matters of our heart. Don't allow the pain to fester so long that it affects the whole root system and you wither and die. If you want joy, you got to have a healthy root system. Just like with plants, if a worm attaches itself to, good morning, Kimberly, if a worm attaches itself to a root, the plant will slowly wither and die. There isn't anything that you can do that will prevent that. Over time, it will wither and die. Well, when bitterness is attached to you, you will wither and die. It's just not a physical death. You will become so bitter, mean, and hateful that people can't even talk to you. We all know that person at work, at church, or just in our general life that everybody avoids them because you don't want to deal with them. They are bitter and they are mean. If you want to live in joy, peace, and happiness, we got to start dealing with the root of the issue. And that means that we're going to have to start forgiving some people. You cannot harbor and carry that kind of weight around and expect to live in the fullness and the grace of God. It just does not happen that way. So your perspective on life is everything. What you say matters. If you think you're going to have a great day, you will have a great day. You'll be pleasant, and you won't let things that happen to you affect you in such a way that it ruins your perspective for the rest of the day. Good morning, Robert. It does not happen that way. But if you get up and you say the day is horrible and that life sucks, you're absolutely correct. It is going to follow you and it will carry you. It either carry you and lift you to a place of bitterness, a place of gratitude, or it will bury you in a place of bitterness. Don't become buried by bitterness. Guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. I really appreciate you watching. And again, please remember that your perspective is everything in life. It absolutely will carry you through not just the days, but through the months and through the years. I knew at 32 years old that I needed to have a knee replacement, both my knees. I didn't get my knees replaced until I was 45. That's a whole lot of years. But my perspective carried me through those and allowed me to live in joy even when I was in excruciating pain. A doctor told me once, he came in the room and he was like, I don't never know how to take you. I look at your x-rays and I see your MRI and I know the condition of your knees, what your knees are, but I open the door and see you sitting on the table, smiling and happy. I don't know how to take you. And I told him that day that if I let the condition of my knees determine how I feel, every day would be a horrible day. And I have decided that I'm not going to live that way. And his response was, I need more patients like you. So guys, don't let your pain, abuses, and trauma of the past make you bitter and angry with life. I want you to have a joyful, fulfilling life and live in the joy that God created us to live in. So keep a watch on your perspective. The words out of your mouth have a tremendous amount of power. So guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. I love you. It's kind of chilly this morning, but fall is my favorite season. I love the cool, chilly mornings and the warm afternoons. Good morning, Freddie. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you on in a while. But guys, thank you for watching. And if you got on late, please go back and watch the entire video. Please share it because our words have a tremendous amount of power, and the joy that we get to experience is based on us. So guys, thank you for watching. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Thank you, Deb.